All right, friends, we are here together again. It's day 3 of the Radiant Acrylic Landscape Challenge. And you know what? It's a good day to be alive, isn't it? And I'm not here by myself. We got Mr. Peter Stout and the wonderful Diana Shine. How are you guys?
Hi, great. Thanks for asking.
Doing fantastic. I can't believe it's day 3 already. This week is kind of gone by in a blur, man. But you all are painting like crazy. So cool to see.
This week has gone by just like the summer went by, right? Just like
that.
Don't
remind me. Don't remind me, Jed.
Hey, Peter, man, me and you, we need to take a trip to the sun this winter sometime.
In
fact, maybe we should. Yeah, I don't know if you want to go to Arizona with me again, but got you, bro. Hey, friends, it is good to be together. We had such a wonderful time, didn't we, on Wednesday with Diana? That was just awesome. And so fun to see everything that you guys are learning along the way. So we're excited for another day today. And, it's kind of the same story. If you haven't been here, we'll walk through some slides. We'll go through some things. And at the end, we'll have Q&A. We'll do a demo in the middle. And Diana's going to be here at the end again when we ask those questions, because you know what? Better to have 2 artist minds answering questions than just one. And she's got lots of knowledge and experience. So thank you, Diana, for that.
Yep. I'll be here. I'm really excited. It's fun.
And guys, if you have questions along the way, make sure you type them in the chat. Peter will also be making lists of questions that we go through at the end. So anyways, we're going to jump into the slides. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Diana, so much for being here. We love you guys. And I'm going to switch my view here so that we can see these slides. See you on the other side. All right, you guys, it is day 3. Excited to be here. And guess what? I'm still Jed, and it's still an honor to serve you guys today. Stay all the way till the end, because we do have a $250 gift card to give away. It's awesome. This is session 3 of the Radiant Art Acrylic Landscape Challenge. And honestly, if you didn't know that, you're still welcome to stay. You know, I know a lot of people just happen upon these videos, but hey, if that's you, stay with us. This is a great time, and you can even go back over the next couple of days and look at some of the earlier sessions. But this is session 3. We got today, and we have another awesome thing happening on Monday. That is this prize celebration. So make sure that you show up for that, because that's when we actually give away multiple prizes. They're bigger. Just some really fun things that happen that night. Also, Diana and I are going to paint side by side, which is a super fun thing. We're going to paint the same scene, but we're going to be doing it in our own unique way. So you get to kind of see how 2 different artists interpret the exact same scene. It's super fun. That's Monday. So make sure you pay attention to that. If you want to find reference photos or anything else related to this masterclass, where do you go? I know that there's people out there that have this memorized by now. That's right. You go to radiantartchallenge.com. That's our dashboard. You'll find everything there that you actually need. So just make sure you type that in, memorize it, and go there. I want to ask you guys this. You've been here. Who's had a good time this week? Who's had fun? And the next question is, what's your favorite part like so far? Has it been teaching? Has it been community? Has it been like chatting with each other? What has it been? Has it been something that you discovered? I don't know. I see this though. Lots of people saying me. I had an awesome time. I had fun. Loads of fun. Learned a lot. Teaching and community. Love. Oh, whoops. It's been fantastic, man. These things go by so fast. It's hard to click on the one that you want, because it moves. Community and teaching, me getting back into art. Oh, you don't know how happy that makes me and it makes us when we hear the stories of people who've been away from it for a while and get back into it or get reinvigorated in it. We're just so learning. Always a good time with you guys. I learned so much about what I want to work on. That is awesome. Yes, it's been a blast. Love these classes. Okay, super awesome, you guys. This is what one person shared. This is not from this exact masterclass, but it was a couple ago. And she said, I shared my drawing seeking encouragement, but I didn't expect such wonderful, amazing words and support from you. It means the world to me. I'm writing this with tears in my eyes. You really opened the doors of hope wide in front of me. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. And I love those words. You opened the doors of hope. Because art is about hope. It's about dreams. And you are a creative dreamer. If you remember these slides that I showed you earlier in the week, I just want to see if you relate to this. You loved art as a child. You doodled and sketched and painted and maybe even dreamed of a career in art. But one day, sadly, sometimes this happens that you had to put your brushes away. You got a real job. You raised a family. But creativity is still in you, and you're here because you still have dreams. So who actually does relate with that? Like I'd love to just see some hands and like going, yeah, that I relate with that. I had to put my paints away. And the second part of that question is, how many years did you wait to do art again? Oh yeah, like I see. Let me just get back here. Yes, I still have dreams. All of those, I can relate to that. I'm now taking the time to paint. Yes, still have dreams at age 80. I love that so much, Cheryl. 1,000 on here. Yeah, me, I can relate, totally relate. 6 years, 30 years, 50 years, 35. I went about 20 years, now retired 45 years. And, it's not really about like, oh, is there, a right answer or wrong answer? Way too many. I mean, that's honestly like, here's the deal. Like, this is what I've realized because I've talked to so many people. It's like, there are a lot of really good reasons that sometimes we need to set down something that we're passionate about because there's something else that we're also passionate about, like raising a family or something that's very good. And so it's not that it's for really terrible reasons, but it's really wonderful, isn't it? To be able to come back into something that you truly do love. And that's what the invitation is all about today. We believe this. You are meant to be here. You might have just happened upon this. You might have got invited by a friend, or you might have seen something pop up on Facebook. But I believe you're meant to be here. And we have officially opened the doors of our membership today. We have something called the Ultimate Membership. I truly believe that it is the pinnacle of art instruction in one place out there. It's honestly your place to dream and have fun and explore your art. And if you have dreams, like what I love imagining Acrylic University as is a big house that you can just run into and you can paint on the walls. There's art supplies everywhere and you can just go around and be like, it doesn't matter. Draw outside the lines, color outside the lines. Acrylic University is a place you belong. But the question that I have for you, I'm not going to do it now because I want to jump into teaching that, but would you mind if I told you a little bit more about Acrylic University later? I would love to get your permission for that because I love this. It makes my inner child happy. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, okay, I see. Okay, there it is. Tell me more and go for it. Yes, please. Okay, perfect. Thank you, guys. I respect you guys, and I want to honor your guys' thoughts and everything like that. So thank you for that. Because the thing, wouldn't you love to be flourishing in a vibrant art community? That's what the question for you is. So, anyways, today is Mastering Light. Light is so amazing, right? Isn't it? And I'm going to just tell you a little bit about why do I love the light. And I'm going to get a little bit personal here, guys. So bear with me. This is my personal story. There was a time, and see how dark that is? To kind of show you what I'm talking about. There was a time in my life that was very dark. I was stuck in addiction and despair. And on the darkest day of my life, literally when I didn't see any hope, when I felt like there was no hope for me, I found myself in my studio. And, I had kind of like hurt relationships around me, and I didn't really have anybody that I could talk to. And I just found myself in my studio, and I didn't know what else to do. So I just started painting and praying. And in that moment, over those hours, I felt like God met me. And he started showing me that though my life was dark and though it felt hopeless, he could make it new again. That he could bring light and color and life back into my heart. And while, like if you know me, he's still got a lot of work to do, okay, on me. But I can tell you today that my life is different than it was. And now I love painting light more than ever because it reminds me that there is always hope in him. And like I said, he's not done with me yet, but I have purpose and joy like I've never had before. And I would just say this is just my opinion. We will never understand the meaning of the world and of our lives if we only think of it as a science experiment. I actually think that when we look at the world and we're like, we're like, it'd be like going to a painting and going like, the pigment was made out of this and this and this and this. And instead of standing back and looking at the masterpiece, right, and going like, oh my goodness, look at this. We're getting into like some of the stuff that makes us lose. So anyways, again, my opinion, this world is artwork and you are artwork. I truly believe that. This is a verse that I love. It says, for we are God's masterpiece, created in Christ Jesus for good works. And listen, you don't have to believe like me to be here at all. I have so many friends that believe differently than me than everything like that. But I just wanted to share this because I want you to know why I'm passionate about what I do. And I want you to know that there's always hope. And that's all related to painting light. For me, it's the thing that makes me want to paint at all. Is like if there was, I mean, honestly, there's nothing that we can paint without light because light is what we see. But just when I'm looking at a scene, it's always the light that draws me in. And light to me has so much to do with hope. And anyways, we're going to jump into this. I want to remind you though, I don't have a specific question for you today, but if you want to text me, feel free to text me if you haven't already. I've been texting back and forth with quite a few people, but hey, feel free to text me. I'm here for you. You might have a question that comes up or something like that through this, but we're going to jump into this, guys. Are you ready for session 3, mastering light? And that might be a strong word to say mastering, because I don't know if I can say that I've mastered light, but hey, that's what we're aiming at here. Are you guys ready for this? Yes, so ready. I love it. Born ready. There it is. Born ready. Okay, he's got a couple of these in here already. Look at that. Okay, awesome. So we're going to start this. You do not need to paint along with me during the demo. You can just relax, sit back, enjoy it, and you can paint later. It is time for the demo. Peter, can we roll this? All right, we are going to be painting light and this beautiful sunrise, actually. This is a sunrise from our house that I was looking at one morning, took this photograph, and I want to show you a technique that I love using when I'm painting a scene like this. Sometimes it's just perfect because it will really kind of focus the direction of people's attention right here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create basically a gradient. Now, what I'm going to do this time that's slightly different than what I've done sometimes in the past is I'm going to do it at like a horizontal gradient. Like sometimes I do it as a circle, but this time I'm actually going to do it a little bit different. So we'll see what it works like, how it comes out. And I also want to say that really what we're going to be painting right now are the clouds, but I'm also going to later paint like the light. I'm going to change the scene a little bit. I'm going to make it like the sun is right behind some of these clouds. As it is, it's actually reflecting along the bottom of the clouds. And it's really, really bright. It's the effect that I want, but the actual reality is that the sun, we can't really see the sun quite yet, but I'm going to make it so that the sun is like more like it's directly behind those clouds. And then, so what we're going to be painting right now is essentially some of the clouds. And then we're going to do a layer on top of it, which is going to be the foreground. And then we're going to do a layer behind it, which is going to be the light and maybe some of the sky above. Also, I'm going to change some of the shape of this foreground. Like it's okay, but I think that we can make it a little bit more interesting. Right now, it just kind of comes across the painting fairly flat. I want it to be a little bit more dynamic. I want it to have a little bit more of an angle to it. I do like there's a little house here, some things, and the trees. But I just wanted to say that in case you see me do it later and you're wondering why, because it's for design purposes and it's intentional. But we're going to grab this yellow and we're going to start with the yellow straight like this, and I'm gonna mix. Let me just look at this real quick. Gonna mix a little bit of white into it. Ooh, that's a little bit more of the red than I kind of wanted, but that's okay because it is kind of the tone that I'm going for. Like I said, I'm going to do this. This is going to take, even though it's just over a neutral gray that isn't super, super dark, this is still going to take a couple coats to get the color as rich as we want it to be. So I'm just going to go like this. Come down here. And that's probably as far as we really need to go right now, because as the color gets darker, it will cover easier and it won't require as many coats of paint. But just for the sake of doing it, I will carry on a little bit more. Whoa. That is okay. And just going to grab a little bit of this, a little bit of that blue in there. And down here, it's definitely more on the darker side. And then up at the top, it's also on the darker side, but I'm not going to make it quite as dark, so I added a little bit of white to it. And we'll come down a bit, and then go back up towards the top. Okay, so it doesn't have to be perfect right now. We're going to let this dry, And we're going to force it to dry actually, because I want to move kind of fast. So I'm going to get out my hair dryer and dry it here, and then we'll do another coat. Okay, some of that paint definitely was still a little bit wet and a little bit tacky when I touched it. It kind of rubbed it a little bit off, but I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna keep going. Hopefully it doesn't do it worse. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna grab, too much of the white. Let's get a lot of the yellow, a little bit of the red, creating a slightly orangish type of color. We'll come in. I'm going to make some different brush strokes this time just because I don't want all of them going that way. Okay, let's make this. Let's try to come in like this. And I'm going to get out a second brush so that I can keep some of the lighter color. I feel like this is drying fairly quickly. And sometimes, like I said, I'm doing it a little bit different technique today. More often I do a little bit more like a kind of like a circular effect. But I don't mind changing it up sometimes because life is boring if you do it the same way every time. Okay, so you can kind of see at least a little bit of like, okay, that's where the light's coming from. And I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to dry it and then see what happens afterwards. I might do one more coat just like that. All right, so it's still a little bit tacky in here, and I'm just kind of considering my options. What I actually think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to do one more small area right here, and then I'm going to come in with the foreground. So I'm not going to try to do everything, not going to go really down here too far. Just so that I can do a small workable area, and I think it'll be enough to get us really the feeling that we're going for. I think it'll work. Okay, I washed out my brush, drying it a little bit here. I'm gonna just clean off a little area for this mix. Who knows? I might do a little bit more than I was imagining. So getting into this yellow again. I'm using up quite a bit of the yellow. Let's grab some of this. Okay, I think that's good enough. It's got a bit of a soft blend there, and I think it's good enough. there's a few imperfections in here, but we're not going for perfect. We're going for done and painterly. So we've got a background that's prepped, and it will be a good kind of base for us to paint over now. And we're going to be able to carve out some of the clouds. We're going to be able to do some cool stuff here. So give me just a minute to dry this again, and then I'm going to come back. We'll draw out some of the foreground, and then we'll put on that foreground, which is going to be quite a bit dark. Okay, let's get that foreground drawn into place. So I'm going to get some of the red and a little bit of blue and some black. But before I get the black in there, I'm just thinking, and I really want to get just some red and a bit of the yellow to make a bit of a dark orange. But I want to get the shape in. Basically making this the opposite of what it's like in the reference, because it kind of goes up on that other side. But I'm thinking I kind of like the shape that the trees made, so I'm just going with that same basic idea. And then I'm gonna put this house right here. Not sure if I'm gonna do. It's a house that's got that kind of shape to it. I don't know. You know what? I might not even put the house in. Honestly, I don't think I will. I don't think I need it in this. You can put it in if you want. I might change my mind. I always give myself the opportunity to change my mind. But right now, I don't think I'm going to put that in. It's going to come with a layer of trees. And so I'm shaping them here with the red to get the idea. But I'm going to come right back over this with more of the dark, because I want this to actually stand out and be, it's kind of going to be like more like the focal area. It's going to come down. Don't know if I should put a real gap in there or not. Just gonna keep working the design, and I'm just really like thinking design right now. So I'm kind of in between, or as I'm going, I'm kind of leaning back a bit and kind of squinting, just trying to see where the darks and the lights are. But we don't need it to be too complicated either. You know, like in my opinion, I don't actually think it needs to be too complicated. I kind of like the way that this is looking. Might make this tree a bit bigger. And Okay, so now I'm gonna get out this darker color here. I'm gonna make it a little less dark than what I had. Want it to still have a bit of that red in there. So it's kind of a fairly dark kind of violet color, but it's kind of grayed down a little bit. So let's see. And I'm probably not gonna, I'm gonna keep my red on my brush here so that if I want to add some back in, I can, but I'm not gonna try to go to the very edge on these trees. I'm gonna leave some of that red. This is a pretty, what would I say? I'm not gonna say it's simple, but I'm not trying to make this overly complicated in the layers and in the design. I want it to be something that we can grab hold of the concept without getting bogged down in too many hard to paint subjects or details. So we'll try to add some nuance to these trees in here, but I'm not gonna, I guess that's part of the thinking behind taking the house out too, is you can put it in totally if you want, but the concept of what we're going through here does not need the house to be part of it to really understand it. I really kind of wonder about cutting out some of that line of trees, and I don't know, maybe it should be connected here still. It's funny to me how over here, this color looks more violet to me, but when I put it down on the painting, it looks really blue to my eyes, and it's all about the contrast between the other colors that are out there. So yeah, look at that. We've got something. Now, I'm actually gonna get out a bigger brush. Oh man. You know, before I do that, I'm gonna get out one of my smaller brushes again. And I think I'm just gonna make some of this a little bit darker. So I'm adding more black into this, a little bit more blue. And let's just come in. Just a little bit more depth to give the contrast, a little bit greater contrast. And it also will probably look a little bit more realistic because the violet that I'm looking at on those trees, it's not bad color, but it's pretty violet. And so having a little bit more of this grayish, kind of dark blackish kind of, it's almost like a charcoal gray now. I think it'll make it look a little bit more realistic. Okay, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that color, gonna add a little bit more blue to it. I'm gonna grab a little bit more yellow and a little bit of white. I'm gonna lighten it up a little bit. And I'm gonna bring some of that down here. This is a brush that was pretty dry right here. Well, actually it's got some water in it, so it's not really dry, but it didn't have paint on it. And they're just kind of thought that the color that was on that grassy area was actually kind of nice. So I decided I'd not put down this as a really thick opaque color down here. Just kind of like lightening it by rubbing off some of it with this brush that's a little bit wet, but no paint on there. Okay, so let me look at this. Let me see. Design wise, what am I seeing? I'm tempted. I've done this before in a painting, and I'm tempted to try to do it again, and that would be to bring a little bit of a land or like something back here in the back and flattening it out a little bit. In fact, I'm gonna mix in a little bit of that yellow. I'm just trying to shape around some of these trees, but make another layer back here that we can kind of work with. I'm gonna make it a little bit lighter and a little bit more orange over on this side. Yeah. That might turn into water later. We'll see. Okay. Now we're kind of up in the sky. And so what I want to do here is I want to get a clean area because I'm going to need to mix some really nice clean colors. Because what I want to do is I want to bring in the sun. I want to pretend that we can see the sun through some of these clouds. Like these are going to be clouds. What we'll see here in a minute is my plan is to make some of these yellow things actually clouds, which hopefully will make sense. So we're going to pull in our white. Going to get a decent amount of this white right here. Going to come, and then we're going to get some more yellow. I need to grab some yellow here. Okay. And hopefully okay, need to be thoughtful and kind of controlled in doing this. But what I'm thinking is I'm looking at the shape of some of the light in the reference photo, and some of the highlights it's kind of coming across. So I want to be kind of I'm probably going to simplify what I see a little bit and probably bring the greatest highlight into here, this area. So I'm just going to start. You just got to kind of start. And so this is the sky, I'm doing it a little bit different than what we see in the reference. I'm acting like this is sky and sun that's coming from behind these clouds a little bit. And we're just leaving the clouds. This is not my brightest that I'm going to do. I'm going to actually add a little bit more that's going to be a little bit brighter. Down here at the bottom, it's skinnier little areas. As it goes up, we'll see slightly bigger areas. That's my plan. And then at the center of where the light is coming from, where the sun will be, we're gonna just have mostly white with just a little bit of yellow. I'm just looking back and forth. And I'm probably going to paint that cloud, some of these clouds right here where the light is the very, very brightest. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to paint some of that a little bit lighter on the clouds. And everything that's not right here, I'm not going to use this lightest, very lightest highlight anymore. So I'm going to mix back some more of the yellow. I've got some of that on this brush already. And one of those is a really kind of comes over all the way. It meets this tree. I mean, in the reference photo, it's similarly placed, so I kind of like the way that that goes. Let's come back this way. Want to make that a little bit lighter in here. Again, I'm really just trying to shape clouds here, trying to keep them kind of interesting. And also believable. And that's why I'm kind of following the shape that I see in the reference photo. I'm not abandoning it completely. I am taking some liberties and I'm changing it some, but trying to keep it some of the pattern that I see. Now I'm going to mix in a little bit of this red here. And actually, I'll put down some of this yellow. These are both, it's kind of funny. This is one of those cases where different companies, the pigment is slightly different, even though they're both called cadmium yellow light. One of them has got a little bit more of a depth to it than the other one. Okay, and we'll just kind of come up here. Oh man, I probably got way too much of the red on my brush. That's okay. We're not after perfect, right? We're after painterly. And we're just exploring this technique to see what we can do, how we can get amazing light. Doesn't matter if it's slightly a different mix on the color. I want to try to get the value good, but okay. I think that's looking pretty good. And then up here, some of this you can see a little bit of this beautiful color up here too. So I'll put a little bit up here. Okay. Okay, so we kind of have a couple things going on here. We have the yellow of the middle ground, clouds. We have this layer of foreground, the trees and this grass towards the front. And then we've started putting in some of this farthest background. Now, what I am also going to do is I'm going to add to the middle layer. What I really love is how there's some kind of blue and violet that comes into these clouds up in that area. So I'm going to grab some blue, a little bit of white, and just a little bit of this, the red. Now I got a little bit more of the red than I wanted, so I need to dry out my brush a little bit. I'm kind of dabbing it on some paper towel off the screen. Okay, coming back. Do a little bit remixing that with a drier brush. Okay, so this takes a little bit of guts because it's quite different than anything that's on there right now. So I'm going to add a little bit more red to this. Just a little bit of red. Have that blend in a little bit more down towards the bottom. We can use our fingers to smudge this a little bit. I don't want anything really in a cloud. Like a lot of times, the clouds are where I might smudge the whole place, like the whole area of clouds, just to try to get some really soft edges. Otherwise, the clouds end up looking like buildings with hard lines and hard edges. We don't really want that. Okay. Okay, and then as it goes up higher, we can add a little bit more blue. That will be good. It can also get slightly a little bit darker if we need it to. And we're going to leave some of this, some of these areas where we put some of the light on the clouds. Yeah, we're going to leave some of that. it works. I think it's going to work, even though we've kind of changed where the sun is. Hopefully it'll still work. And even some of these areas that are a little bit warmer, like some of this kind of grayish, brownish color up there, we might leave some of that showing through too. But let's fill most of it up. So we can kind of see, like a lot of times I don't really know what a painting is going to look like until I get most of the area filled in, even with just like my first impression of what the local color should be. So even if it's off a little bit, it still helps me see things. So see, now this is a little bit darker. I think we can just grab a little bit more of that red, but come in. Okay. And this can fill in and it'll make it a little bit less scratchy feeling up there. And then we can come in with something that's a little lighter also. That's the fun of these kind of skies, is there's a lot of kind of like a little bit of give and take here and there. Come down here with a little bit of this color. It's actually way more brown than the blue at the top, but it still looks really blue down here because it's so contrasted with the color that's there. We need to bring it in a little bit because it actually, I think it'll help. I think. Okay. Probably need even more of this orange color in there to mute this down. So that was a little bit too much over on that side. So interesting to me, the way that colors look so different when they're set up against something. Like the background changes everything. Okay, but look at that. Okay, we've got a really nice glowing sky now, don't we? And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab a little bit of the blue. I'm going to try to keep an area that's somewhat clean. I'm going to mix some white into it. I want this to be like a cleaner blue, cleaner light blue. I'm going to see what happens if we come up here and we just come back behind these clouds a little bit with some blue sky. Can we do this? Can we pull it off? I think that this really cool light blue color, because of the contrast that it's going to bring with such a warm sunset, it's like what makes the warmth of the sunset really look beautiful, actually, because we can see, oh, that's a really beautiful light yellow color. Without the contrast, it just kind of all looks warm and less interesting. In fact, I think that I need to make this area down here a little bit less warm. Like this grass down here should be cooler and a little bit darker. I'm going to do that too. Just give me a second here. I'm using a really soft, dry brush kind of approach to keep these edges really soft. Okay, I'm really liking the way that this is turning out. I think it's looking good. Looking good. Okay, now last thing, let's make this foreground a little bit darker and cooler. So yellow, blue, red. Bringing it all together here. A little bit of white. I'm going to put a little bit more of that. Oh, that might be too much. I might need a little bit more of this in here, but I definitely like it. I kind of like the effect that I had on there before with the when I went over with the more watered down version of the blue over the top, whatever that color exactly was. But what I didn't like about it is that it looked a little bit scratchy and like didn't look very substantial. Didn't look quite like it was finished. So with this, we're able to get some more opaque colors, and I think it will help it all feel like it's kind of coming together. So I am putting a little bit of some marks in here to show the sunlight kind of breaking through and coming down and hitting some of these areas. Even if it's just reflected light, maybe not direct sunlight, but just even reflected light. Let's bring it out to the edges. There's a couple edges here that need to be darkened up. And now, yeah. Okay, there you go, guys. So we took this idea. You can take this further. You can probably finish this out a little bit better than I did. The one last thing that I see here that I am going to try to touch up is right here. Just using a piece of tape to try to make a straight line so that I can get rid of that, well, or at least I should just say I'm trying to straighten up this. There's an edge here that I want to straighten up. And then I think we're going to be done. Let's take a look at that. It's probably a little bit too much there. Who knows? It's straight. It might be too bright. Maybe I can fill in a little bit more here to kind of ease that transition. We can make, never did make some of these clouds right in here even lighter. Could definitely do that still. That'll help even more with that glowing effect. Just to, yeah, let's make that. Again, stuff that you don't have to do, and you can probably figure out a way to make this even better than what I have done here. But I'm showing you the idea of how we can get radiant light. And just for recap, I'll go over it here real quick. First, we talked about the design, and I wanted to have this sloping down a little bit. Then we applied this background gradient, and I have to say it wasn't my best gradient, but it still worked. It got us something that we could use as the middle clouds, kind of like these clouds that are here. They were kind of established. Then we did the foreground, and we pulled that forward with darker values, but we're allowing some of that red to show through, like, okay, it's getting touched by some of the light. Then we started cutting out the very brightest, like shaping where the clouds actually are, and leaving or letting the light, the brightest light, kind of shine through. And then we came up here and we moved up. We did put a little bit of the highlights of those cloud colors here, and then we came in with some more cool clouds that really help this area become the warm, really warm sky that we want it to be. And then finally we did one more coat down here on the grass, and then touched up a couple places, try to straighten that line that I had a little bit off. But guys, thank you for joining me on this. This is super fun. I love painting like this. I love getting this radiant light glowing through, and I hope that it was something that will be helpful for you in your artistic journey. And I look forward to the next time. Thanks a lot. All right. So how do you feel about that one? I have this feeling like some of you are inspired and some of you are also kind of scared to approach it. I saw somebody say, this one intimidates me, or something kind of like that. And so I just want to encourage you. You know what? We were having this conversation yesterday in a VIP session, but it was all about, you have courage. It takes courage, and Diana made a really good point. Like, it's a kind of courage, but your life isn't in danger. There's nothing that's actually going to happen. It's just paint, like just play around with it. Just have fun with it. If it doesn't turn out, it's okay. But where do you need to go if you need a reference photo or you need a supply list or anything like that? Shout it out. You go to radiantartchallenge.com. You can also go to acrylicuniversity.com for other information. The homework today is choose a reference photo, either this one that I gave you or one of your own. If you have a sunset scene or something that you think would be cool to paint, you can choose that as well. You paint the scene, applying what you learned. And hopefully it was kind of clear in the sense that, like in this one, I painted that middle area of the clouds, and then came into the foreground, and then went into the background sky behind the clouds, and then some of the upper clouds. But I do have a hard time painting all the. I was laughing because somebody was joking around about me painting the background after, and I get it. I know, man, it's hard for me not to do it in my weird way. Stages of the creative process, just to remind you guys that you can expect to kind of go through some of those harder stages. Starts out, this is awesome, goes, this is tricky, this is terrible. We don't want to go into the stage where we internalize everything and believe that we're terrible, but sometimes we feel that way. But if we stick with it, guys, we come out the other side, we say, this might be okay, and then we go, this is awesome. Prize night, guys, on Monday. Make sure you come back to that. It's going to be a blast. Me and Diana are going to paint and do the same painting side by side. It's going to be super fun. And in just a few minutes, we're going to give away this $250 gift card. But like I asked you before, you said I could. share a little bit more here. You're a creative dreamer. You still have dreams. Here's the invitation. We open enrollment for Acrylic University, and it's open for a limited amount of time. I want to read this from someone who had been a member for just 1 year, and this is what they said. This year, I painted 53 pieces, which is a record year for me. And it all started with the Landscape Masterclass. It's been a rough year for our family, and I could have easily set aside an interest that gives me such joy. Grateful thanks to the Acrylic University staff and community for all the encouragement, excellent teaching, cooperative learning, challenges, and kind prodding. Would you love that to be your art story for the next year? That'd be pretty cool, right? To just be painting a lot and encouraged in that. So you can go right now to acrylicuniversity.com/ I'll get my head out of the way, membership, and you'll find there, this great informative page that we just put together for you. You can also find it from acrylicuniversity.com. But can I get a shout out from some members who are out there right now? What difference has Acrylic University made for you in your art journey? I know a lot of the stories. I've heard them from you. We get emails on a regular basis. It's so cool. It's like very amazing. Take advantage. I'm so enjoying it. It's so supportive, like therapy and learning all in one. I mean, that's the way I look at art. Sometimes I'm like, would I rather pay a therapist or buy some more art supplies? Yeah, the art supplies sound like a really good, awesome way. Hey, I'm not a doctor. Don't listen to me for any serious advice. But if you want to have fun, Acrylic University is so much fun. It will get you painting, even if it's been decades. I love that. Okay. AU is awesome to be part of. What's so great? I'm not sure if that was I'll have to be more selective. But anyways, guys, it's super, super fun. And I'm trying to see. Okay. I'm at Social Security. I applied for the scholarship, and now I pay less than my mobile phone bill every month. I know. Well, we do have a scholarship, guys. I'm going to talk about that too later. Made a big difference. Made me a stronger artist. Love AU. I can paint anything now. That's awesome. Confidence. I love this. Dreams never die. They're just waiting for us to go for it. Super awesome. Okay, so better technique, more confidence. Thank you guys for shouting out. So do you want to grow, discover your artistic voice, flourish creatively? Because honestly, I'm excited for you. I know that for a lot of you, this is going to be your best year ever. The thing I know too is that nothing changes if nothing changes, right? We get that. And I know that a lot of you will have different thoughts on this. Like you might say this to me, Jed, I don't have enough time. And I would say exactly. Time is our most valuable resource. But the question is really, how long do you plan to put off your creative dreams? Like, I would just recommend for those of you, some of you are here, you might not even have been able to participate fully in this because you got busy or something like that. And you're like, oh, shoot, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get to lesson 2, that happened the other day because, something happened this week in this. For you guys, I just say this. Make the investment today, buy a lifetime membership, and let go of worrying about when exactly you're going to have the time, and you just have it available to you 24/7. You just have it. There's going to be so much for you inside. It's time to say yes to that creative dreamer inside of you. And guys, I believe in you. I truly do. I mean, I wouldn't be as passionate as I am if I hadn't heard from so many people about how being part of Acrylic University, having a community around them has made a massive difference for them in their lives and in their art and in the joy that they have every day. Just, hey, what's on today? What are we doing today? So I would love that to be you. Others of you that are going this, Jed, I don't have the money, right? Here's the funny part, or the kind of ironic part about that. I agree totally. You need to invest your money wisely. So how long do you plan wasting money and resources on hodgepodge solutions? Like we could give you a much simpler supply list than probably the stuff that you've been going to. And I mean, hopefully already from this workshop, you're going like, oh, I could save money by not buying 25 different colors, right? Things like that. But the thing is, you deserve to have the best instruction out there. Like, we're on YouTube right now. YouTube has some awesome content, but you can wander a lot, and the cost of wandering is time. And for you guys, I just say, make the commitment. Drop in at $59 a month and just go, I'm in. You know what that works out to? $197 a day. That is less than a cup of coffee. And wouldn't it be worthwhile to make coffee at home for a little bit so that you can pursue becoming the artist that you've always dreamed of? Honestly, invest in yourself and invest in the future. And like someone just said, you can go to acrylicuniversity.com. I'll get out of the way again, /scholarship, and you can apply for a scholarship, because we want you to be able to pursue your art and your creativity. But honestly, I wonder sometimes if this is what's really underneath. Those of you who are sitting on the fence, or you're kind of like hesitant, and are these the questions that are underneath? Jed, I don't have the talent. I'm not good enough. I'm not worth the investment. And for those things, what lies are you believing? Whose voice are you hearing? Was there somebody, like I've talked to so many people, and they have voices inside their heads from people. I mean, even just this week, we read it in the comments about a kindergarten teacher who told a young girl, 5 or 6 years old, and said, your colors aren't good. That's wrong. That's the voice that's been resonating in her head for years and years and years. And we want to change the voice that you have in your head to one that says, no, you actually are really creative. You actually can do this. Put in the time, put in the effort. Look, yeah, I'll tell you why it's not going to work for you. If you aren't, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort. You're going to have to show up. You're going to have to actually paint. You're going to have to actually do it. And that's some effort. If you don't want to do that, hey, nothing's going to change. But if you will show up, and do this, wouldn't it be amazing in a year to have that testimony of that first person? 53 paintings later, oh my goodness, this has been the best year ever for me creatively, right? It is time for you to surround yourself with people who believe in you, like we're going to believe in you. This is a place for you to belong here. And so I'd say if you're in that place, man, make a year commitment. Just go, you know what? You're going to save these, you can tell if you do it for a year, you're going to get a little bit better deal on the monthly price, that kind of thing. And just commit. Just go I'm in. Let's do this. Let's make the next 12 months the best 12 months of your art so far. And this is the time. Make the commitment to yourself. I'm super excited for you guys. This year is going to be so incredible. It's going to be so fun to do this together. We've included something this year that we've never done before. We didn't have the capabilities really of doing it, but it was something that came up, and we're including this super cool feature this year in Acrylic University. We're calling it connection circles. I'm trying to make sure I get that right. But it's a time when we have breakout rooms on a regular basis, and you're going to be able to connect with people. You're going to be able to get deeper with other artists, like-minded people. I don't know about you, but sometimes it's like I try to talk with people who don't understand art at all. And it's like, but hey, Acrylic University is full of people who are like-minded like you. Anyways, what's in the membership? There's 24/7 access to lessons, live monthly workshops, painting critiques, guest artists, A to Z training. Hey, if you're Canadian, A to Z. And the best community in the known world. I'm not even joking. That is the best part of Acrylic University, is the community. Inspiration, encouragement, support, feedback, variety. You will flourish. If you have any questions, guys, make sure you write us at support@acrylicuniversity.com. Or, hey, you can text me too. I'm not necessarily going to be the best way to get an answer, so I do recommend you go into support first if you got questions, but I will do my best to get back to you also. Anyways, it's time for the giveaway, and let's do this. Let's do this. I'm going to have Peter come up here with me, but if you are ready, you got to start chatting right now, guys. Start chatting, and we will choose a winner here just very quickly.
Yep.
Type in the chat.
And I just want to say real quick, we have a lot of questions about the membership and what's on the inside and stuff. So after the giveaway, we're going to go more into that and stay here for a bit and answer all your questions, show you what it looks like on the actual inside. It's going to be great. So stick around for that if you're interested in learning more about the university. Yeah,
we'll do a quick tour of the inside so that you're not walking in without a really solid idea. Thanks for reminding me of that, Peter.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, look at this. Okay, good. The numbers are flying up there. I'm gonna keep this open here for another few seconds, and we'll call this out. And I'm gonna get my computer all ready to do that tour. It's gonna be, man. We revamped our website in our membership in the spring. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Looks great.
You know, that's one of the cool things, is that we get so much good feedback from our members that it really helps us keep growing, and it makes it really fun because we can get feedback. And okay, let's see. All right, guys, it is time to choose a winner. I'm going to choose somebody here in a second. All right. Let's do this. Whoopsie, sorry, that was yesterday's. I pressed the wrong button here. Okay. Are you guys ready? I'm going to show you today's winner of $250 gift card, Leslie Petty. Woo! All right.
Congratulations, Leslie.
Congratulations. Super excited for you. If you won,
awesome. Make
sure you email us at support@acrylicuniversity.com, and we will get this gift card mailed out to you right away. So,
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, do you want to do this? We should bring Diana up here maybe too, if we want. She knows a lot, and she has her own perspective on.
Go into the membership first. It looks like Diana's away for a second.
Oh, okay. Okie dokie, karaoke. Will do. Let me see here. Does this work? Okay. Yep. Looks like it's working. Okay, so if you go into our, you just log in, you get inside of our places where our courses is, you're going to see the ultimate membership here. You're going to click on it, and it's going to open up for you. There's so many great things here. Looks like I'm logged in as my wife here right now. But you can go to the calendar. It will show you, okay, cool, this is what's happening in the month of September. You can go to the community. It's going to take you to our community on Facebook. You can also open this thing called Lesson Finder. It's going to help you. There's this thing for links for members. There's a bunch of things in there that are benefits to you. Like you'll get, if there's other offerings that we have, you can see what they are in there. You get the best deals on anything else. But here's the upcoming lesson. We always put the next thing that's happening right here on the big screen in front of you. So you can click on that. And this is critiques. That's something that you can watch anytime. Here's a little section about the membership. Open it up. It's going to have like some different information about, how to navigate, who we are, all that kind of stuff. These are the weekly classes. Now, this is a really awesome part of what we do, where on a monthly basis, you're going to get a theme. So September was fields and farms, right? We had a workshop with Diana on the first Friday. We had a guest artist, Samantha, who did our second session. This week, we switched the order around so that we could have the masterclass here. But this is our critiques with Brian Buckrell. And then next Friday, which when you join, this will be the first thing that you're going to do is, it's called Discover Your Voice with Me. It's where if you have had the time to look at the reference photo and paint it beforehand, you have your own experience working through the picture. Anyways, it's super fun. Over the summer, we did something called the Bold and Beautiful Challenge. So over July and August, it was a little bit different, but you can go back here and you can see, okay, June was the plein air adventure. And here's the themes and the people who did each one of these lessons. May, hills and mountains. April, oceans and beaches. Each time it's kind of the same format. Workshop with Diana, a guest artist. I do Discover Your Voice. We have critiques. Pretty similar themes or the calendar looks pretty similar on a monthly basis, but the themes change. And you can see that here, like January, we did fur, fins, and feathers. So obviously more animal related. I'm going to go back. That gives you an idea of what happens through our weekly classes. This Q&A here is actually a lot of specific questions that we made video responses to about things like, how do you varnish your painting? How should I hold my paintbrush? How do I care for my paintbrushes? And it's broken up into canvas brushes, all these different categories. And we're just getting started here, guys. So I'm going to try to go fast. But now beyond that, you're going to see courses. Acrylic painting for total beginners. Acrylic 101. Color 101. Design 101. If you open one of these up, what you're going to find is this is Diana's course on design. Has an intro. It has lessons. You can see how long each of the lessons are. And it's just awesome, right? It's like an incredible wealth here for you of resources, classes. Each one of them has a bunch of stuff. Like here's the landscape series. This was 12 different modules that we did on different landscapes like atmosphere, water, roads, trails, pathways, flowers, clouds, majestic mountains. You can just see it's so much in here. It's hard for us to go through everything and show you in order, but here's some of the coolest stuff here. Now, you got the Master Series, which is an amazing bonus that we throw in here, but we're also throwing in the archive from previous years. So if I click on any one of these, you're going to be able to go back to January of 2023. Oh, city streets and country roads. February, the golden hour. Intimate gardens. Birds of a feather. Color of shadows. Like, is there something that you're looking for? It's in here.
Click in class and show them what
Click in class.
click into one of the classes.
Oh, okay. I'll click into one of the classes Renee tells me to do. Oh, I'm going to sneeze, I think. Okay. So if we open one up, You see that has the full lesson here. It has information down here about the supplies, about what reference photos, everything like that. You have some different options. It shows the finished painting. Obviously, this is Diana's workshop one, and look how full that is. Look how many options you have. And then at the top, if you want to download some of those photos or anything else, you can actually go right here and it will download things for you. You can mark this as complete when you get done, and it's going to keep track of your lessons as you go through. So when you come into your membership, it will actually help you know where to go. You can use this navigation thing over here on the side. You can make favorites if you ever want to. I just have made one favorite in here just to show people how to do it. But you can use these to navigate, and you can kind of figure out your way. What are my favorite lessons I want to go back to? You can make them a favorite just by clicking a little star on them. So anyways, guys, I'm going to move towards Q&A now. Yep. I hope that you saw a lot there.
I'm going to bring Diana up.
Okay.
I'm going to rapid fire answer some questions about the membership that I starred. Okay. If you buy the membership, can you watch the classes you give, like the one this week? Yes. All the Masterclass replays are available for members going all the way back to 2021. So it's not just this class. You're going to get, there's probably almost 20 of them or something like that. Or not 20 events, but a lot of videos.
Like 12, 50. Oh, yeah. There's lots.
Yeah, a lot of videos. Can the weekly classes be streamed at another time if we miss one on the scheduled day? Yes, all of our classes are saved for replay, so you don't have to stress if you can't make it at that time.
Oh,
can I apply these lessons to oil paint? Yes, absolutely. We have oil painters in our membership. Can we go back and pick what lessons to take? Yes. So all those lessons we just showed, you have access to those. You also have access to the archives of all those weekly classes for the past several years. So literally hundreds of lessons, over 1,000 hours, like well over 1,000 hours.
400 or 500 lessons in there.
Yeah.
It's a ton.
If I purchase a lifelong membership, can I go through all archive classes? Yes, just answered this. Can you try it for a month and then upgrade to annual? Yes, you can. And there's absolutely no risk. If you upgrade within the first month, we'll credit your first payment towards your upgrade. So jump in, give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this. I just happened to look at this. It says Renee is done with 4% of, so she's done 23 of 599 lessons. Just so you know, I said 400 or 500. Actually, we're one lesson away from 600.
As soon as the replays go up, we'll be past 600. Can you explain the critiques, please? Yes. So each month we let members submit their work that they finish for the month, and then the artist we have who does the critiques, he selects about 10, 15, 20, kind of depending, of those paintings, and he goes through and he critiques them. So not every single person gets a critique, but usually just by watching him critique other students, you're going to get plenty of information that you can apply to your own paintings. And several of our members say that that's their favorite part of the month. It's very, very awesome week. And then, of course, every month to kick off the month, you're going to get a full workshop with Diana, a 2-hour workshop by Diana every month.
And they're great.
Yes.
They're so packed with information that you really have to go back and rewind and watch them, because I really worked to give you what you need to know. September's was in perspective. I saw a bunch of people ask if we taught perspective, and September's workshop was on fields and farms, and I had a whole tutorial on making perspective easy. So that might be fun.
Yes. So many paintings. Can we sell them?
So the short answer is yes, you can, Paula. There's a longer answer that you can actually, if you go into the FAQ or the about my membership part, it will explain kind of like the way that we approach that. The short answer is yes. There's a much longer, more detailed answer in there, and I'm not going to go into it because it kind of gets long.
Yeah. And we have a lesson that goes into the full details in there. It's in your everything I need to know about my membership module, and we talk about the fine details of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of rules about that, like generally in the art world, and so that's kind of what we go into. It's like, hey, no, you cannot put it into a gallery. If you copied somebody else's artwork, you don't want to put it into a gallery. No, you cannot put it into a contest or some kind of exhibition where because it's not your design, it's not your idea, and you don't want to build your art career based on, oh, I copied so-and-so's painting, right? Either that's not going to be good for you. But yes, can you sell it to a friend who comes to your studio and says like, oh, I love that painting? Yeah, absolutely. You totally can. So just some of the details in there, go into that lesson.
Our Diana's workshops are always available if you're a member. Yes.
All
they
of
sure
them.
are.
Yeah. All of them.
Yep. Think like what Diana did on Wednesday, but twice as long.
And every month.
And every month.
Right? Yeah. Just like, yeah, absolutely.
Yes, you'll absolutely love it. And she puts so much effort into those guys. Go ahead, Diana.
I do. No, I just saw someone repeat over and over, do you teach abstract? And there are several things like abstracting the landscape. There are several guest artists who show abstracting landscape ideas. And then in my design class, I discuss abstraction. So there are ways you can find out about abstract. Even though Jed and I are impressionist painters, there's still lots of ways to tap into that idea.
Yes, absolutely. And that design course that she mentioned is also included in the membership. That's not a separate thing. So
no, it's part of it, and it's extensive.
It is extensive. I edited it. I would know.
You slept for a week after you edited it.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4 payments are 4 months in a row. If you pick the lifetime option, it's back-to-back months for that. I have this question a couple times here, something similar to this. Marcia says, I'm in my first year of membership. How can I transition to a lifetime membership? And somebody else asked something similar, like I bought an annual membership last year. Can I upgrade to a lifetime? And yes, you can. Email us at support@acrylicuniversity.com and we will take care of you. And then I see this other Ruthie says, can you switch to lifetime membership if you've been a member for a while and get a discount? You know what? We're like the only business, the only like organization that I'm aware of, like in basically anywhere that does that. We actually do. We just do the same thing. Write us at support@acrylicuniversity.com and we'll give you a prorated discount on your lifetime upgrade at that point. Yeah. But yeah, we love you guys. We care about you. We want you to get the best instruction, and we're open to like trying to help figure out how can this work, with your new season of life. Like I knew I started out as a monthly member because I didn't know if I wanted to make the commitment, but now I want to upgrade. We want to help you, be with us. And so anyways, yeah.
What size brushes did you use on the sunset pick?
So I will show you the brushes right here. It's actually only 3 brushes, I think, that I pretty much, well, let me just stop that. I should say there's 4 brushes. It's pretty much like the biggest one that you see me use is this one. It's a number 20 flat. Then I have 2 that are kind of close to each other. They're the number 10 and the number 12, and they're all flat. And then this one is a number 6 flat. So if I'm using a really small one, it's almost always this number 6. If I'm using a middle-sized one, it's going to be a number 12 or a number 10. And then this biggest one is a number 20. So I very rarely go outside of that. Like I don't know. Every once in a while I pick up a round brush, but it's pretty rare, and I usually talk about it if I do because it's so rare. So I know I don't describe every time, but if you stick around, you'll notice I really only use those 4 brushes.
Yes. How long do we have to decide about the AU until Wednesday? So 5 days from now, 9-24.
Catherine, hey, let me just encourage you. You're worth it. You're worth it. And here's the other thing that makes it easy. If you sign up today and you say in 29 days, it doesn't work for me, we'll refund your money. We have a 30-day money back guarantee. So you don't have to worry like, you made the wrong choice. We'll just give you your money back. You don't have to give us a big explanation.
Yeah. Are there any classes on realism? What would you say about that, Diana?
I'd say that almost all the information that you see presented here can be used with realism, because what we're doing is trying to get you to figure out how to make things look three-dimensional, look like they have depth, and look real. All you need to do is apply just a few more details and harder edges, and you're into realism. So everything we teach can be expanded one more step into realism if you want.
Okay, I've got a couple specific questions here, Peter, that maybe I could show. Somebody's asking, well, I would say this on the realism topic. Angela Banderka is probably the most realistic artist that teaches with us. And she does quite fine work with like a lot of dry brushing, a lot of like really fine kind of painting of cups and smaller things. Sometimes she can paint anything, but those are the things that stand out in my mind. Animals, she does really. And so I would say you could find people that are more like tighter than her, but I would probably say that she's fairly realistic in her. I mean, I'm just thinking if I could I might be able to show you a painting of hers.
Yeah.
She's very realistic. She's a very good teacher. And
she is a very good teacher.
Yeah. And she's dear. She's absolutely adorable and fun to be around. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Can I show this? So this is one of her paintings here. So you can see, I mean, is it realism to you? I don't know if that's realism to you, but it's pretty, it's pretty fine. And you can definitely, there's not a lot of, I don't know, in my mind, there's not a lot of abstract stuff. But if you go here, right here to membership, and you click on this page, it's going to pull this up. And I guess I was just on that page, but somebody was just asking a question. Does lifetime give you access, or does monthly give you access to the whole membership and to the whole site? And so, yes, it does. Like if you look at this, you can see all the different features that are in each one, and they're all the same, except there's just a couple extra things that you get. Like you get this extra interview archive with an annual membership, and you get the interview archive and an onboarding session with me if you join the lifetime membership. So you can see you still get access to all the stuff with a monthly membership, just not those two special bonuses. If you're a Canadian, you can click here, go there. You can also see that the scholarship button is right here. If you need that, you can just go there. But this is our page that has all the information, and it just walks you through, like, if you forget what we're talking about, you can come back here and see each one of these weekly sessions. You can learn more about the premium course vault and all those things that are there. It doesn't walk through every one of them individually, but it does give you a pretty good idea. So anyways, sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
That was good.
Can I say something, Jed? I saw a number of people who say they can't afford it. And I'm teaching a live class in November. And the price for 2 days with me, so that's 2 6-hour days, is $350 for 2 days. And they're not recorded. So what you get with the membership is hundreds of hours for a simple monthly price. That $350 would cover months of membership, and you'd still get so much more than 2 days live. So just saying, it's a really good value.
Yeah.
Janice says, I gather you can only join at certain times. Why is that? The reason is because we bring people in at the same time. Like if you were starting school somewhere, you can't necessarily, it's like it doesn't make as much sense to join halfway through. So we do have 3 times a year that we bring people in. We try to bring people in a big bunch so that we can focus on that and just give them the best experience possible. That's the main reason we do that. And that kind of relates to this. Shirley asked, without membership, can we stay in the Facebook group we have now? And actually, no, we're going to turn our attention away from the Radiant group that we have. We're going to close that group down next week. And we're going to focus our attention back on our members and the people who are new members. So it's really just a matter of, you can't do everything. We offer these classes here. We're free. We're on YouTube. We want you to be part of it. Hey, if this is all that you can do, we're glad that you're here. But we would be doing a disservice to our members if we tried managing everything, So we just want to do our best for the members that we have.
Yeah.
But good question.
Oh, sorry. What canvas? Size canvas?
I had a 12 by 12 today.
Cool.
It's a gesso panel, not a canvas.
Sean asks, I just saw that he said the Ultra Smooth is really expensive. Is there something else? And there's like do you know what the name of it is? It's like called Dupo or something. It's a pad of like really thick, smooth paper. I'm trying to remember the name. Yupo paper. That is incredibly smooth, and you can paint on it, and you get a whole pad, so you can still paint on a smooth surface, or you can just get some plywood panels, and you can sand them smooth, and get a really fine sandpaper and sand them smooth, and that'll work too.
Yeah. Door skin was something that I learned about a long time ago, and it's like a nice thin plywood type of surface, and it works great. Okay, I see this. How do I inquire about applying for the scholarship? If you go to acrylicuniversity.com/scholarship, that is the place for that.
Very cool. Let's see.
Look at that. I can show it.
Someone asked, okay, a couple questions. What do you do for the onboarding session? I'm assuming they're talking about Lifetime.
Oh, the onboarding session is basically a time when it's a small group. We sit and we have like an hour and a half. We just hang out together. You have a chance to, I love to hear your stories, like where are you from, what's your art journey, what are you hoping to get out of Acrylic University, or what are your goals in art? And then you can hear from each other, in that setting, which is super cool because you can, just kind of make a connection right away. But also then you can ask me, anything that you want as you're starting out in on the Acrylic University journey. So that's kind of what it looks like. It's a really fun time. It's actually I usually set them up. We set them up so that they're back to back for me. I do like 3 or 4 in a day, and they're a lot of fun. It's like one of my favorite days because I just get to hear from so many people and get to understand like what makes you tick, what your goals are. It helps me as we shape Acrylic University. I'm like, oh man, people really want to learn about this. So really fun time.
Yep. Let's see. Lots of people asking about discounts. We have the scholarship, so look into that on the sales page.
Yeah, you can go right here, acrylicuniversity.com/scholarship.
Yes. I like regular canvases. What about them? Yes, I mentioned this earlier, and one thing I would say is you can even use like mixed media paper. Don't let the surface hold you back. That's just what Jed and Diana like to use, but you don't have to use it to get a good result or to enjoy painting. So
I used to buy pads of canvas. It's regular canvas that's gessoed in a pad, and you pay like $20 and you get 25 sheets, and you can paint on that. You can cut it out to the size you want. It's really inexpensive, and it's canvas.
Yeah.
I used to paint on that all the time because I was doing a lot of studies, and you don't save everything. So, and it just is, you can glue it to a board if you like the painting.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, gluing stuff to boards is what I like about. What was the paper you were just talking about? Was it?
It's not really paper; it's canvas. It's Frederick's canvas. It's real canvas, but it comes in a pad. You can just tear a sheet of it off. Like
okay, cool.
Yeah, no, it comes in a pad of like 20 sheets, and you can buy all kinds of sizes. You can buy it in black, gray, or white. I mean, it's really a great pad of canvas, and it's real canvas. So
I've never used this, but Diana, have you ever used just like a unstretched canvas, like a roll, and then because I remember seeing, I think it was Richard Schmidt paint on an unstretched. He taped it down on a board, and then he was painting something, and then I think I remember him saying something like, I think I'm going to cut off this part of the canvas, and just cut off the canvas. And
makes
you
everything.
I thought that was like really interesting.
Yeah.
And then just mount it on a board.
I took a piece of primed canvas and taped it to a wall because it was too big for my easel. So I didn't stretch it yet because I wasn't sure if it was going to work out. And I just taped the area I wanted to paint in and taped it to a wall and painted it. And then later I decided I liked it and put it on stretcher bars after. But it was like, 4 feet by 5 feet or something. So I've done that.
Awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Chrissy says, how long does it take to paint a painting? 12 by 12. Like this session that you saw me, that was not sped up or anything like that. That was about 46 minutes, right? Now, if that was a little bit of a simplified scene, I didn't put the house in there. I didn't do a couple things that I might have, done if I was painting something else. I probably would have chosen to put something else in, but I knew personally that it would complicate it. It would make it longer. And so for the sake of the lesson, I didn't. But I would say that I usually have a time of something like an hour into a painting in an initial session. And then it depends. It just depends. How well did that go? And how many times do I have to go back into it? That could be the only time that I need, or it could be like one of 10. And it takes me like a year to finish it. I have some paintings that I'm like, I don't know if I'm done with it. And it's been here for quite a while. Just depends.
How does Diana make her piles of paint go so far?
They're big piles. And I'm using a Masterclass Stay Wet palette. So it's wicking moisture up from underneath. And the larger the pile of paint, the longer it takes to dry. So there's that. But I use a good size glob. I try not to muddy up the main glob of paint. So when I buy jars. Let me show you my jar. Here we go. I buy jars of paint, and when I'm
your microphone just went off, Diana.
So sad.
That was. It's okay,
Diana. let us know. Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, did you bump the mute button? It says you're muted potentially.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Maybe you just muted and your mic is fine. No, I think
No,
it muted you.
hear you now. Oh, bummer. Okay, well, we'll come back to that, Diana. I see
Yeah,
Linda
for
or some Lindan says, I'm signed up now. Congratulations, excited for you. And Peggy says, what site do we go to for that? So if you go to acrylicuniversity.com and put /membership there, you'll see it.
Yes.
Have you done multiple teaching sessions to finish a course? Oh, I think maybe you mean to finish a painting. Let's see. Dan, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me? Woo-hoo!
Yes.
Yep.
It just switched me over to my iPhone randomly.
Oh, that's fun.
Right?
That's great.
How about that?
Yeah. You were saying something. I don't know if you wanted to keep going.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say that people ask me about my giant piles of paint. I put them back in the jar when I'm done. If I haven't messed up the pile of paint, I use as much as I want. And that way I know I have enough on my palette to do the painting. And if it is messed up, I have a fishing tackle box if it's got little gunks in it, and I seal it up in a fishing tackle box so I don't waste it. Otherwise, all that paint will dry out and be wasted. So I try not to waste my paint. That's all.
For sure. That's
Painter
awesome.
1959 says, can you join now and have your time start later? Technically, no, but I will tell you a little trick that you could do. You could join now, and then you could write us at support@acrylicuniversity.com and put your membership on a pause. And I think that you can pause it for a certain amount of time. So you could do that. Renee, is it?
Up to 3 months.
Okay, you can pause it for up to 3 months.
Only for monthly members.
Oh, and that is only for monthly members. Thank you, Renee, for helping understand that. But yeah, so like we've had people who are like going on a trip for a month or something like that, and they say, can I pause my membership for a month? And we say, yeah, absolutely. But again, that's if you're a monthly member. But yeah, you could do that, and that could be a way that you could start, technically start it later.
Here's a question Michelle has asked a few times.
Okay. How can I keep from getting too much paint on my brush? Well, I guess we don't necessarily know exactly what you mean by too much paint on your brush. I know that, Diana, you're pretty careful about keeping the paint from getting up really high on your brush.
Yeah. I just take my brush and scoop up it on the tip of the brush. I had a teacher tell me that all the control and power comes from the end of your brush, not the middle of the brush here. And so I get a nice little ball of paint on the end of my brush. Bigger scoops for longer brush marks, smaller scoops for shorter brush marks, and just practice scooping with your brush and seeing what you can do. Because if I can't see how you're scooping, so I don't know how you're doing.
Yeah.
The other thing that might help you on that would be to mix it with your palette knife, to mix your paint with a palette knife so that you're not mixing with your brush and then painting with it, because you might be getting a lot on there when you're mixing. And so it might be a little easier to control that if you're just dipping into it after it's mixed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What tool did you use to scrape the paint in your palette? Was it metal or silicone? Was it artist specific, or is it also used for house painters?
It was well, I don't know. Yeah, I think you're asking about mine, but we both have something kind of similar. Like this is a paint. We always forget. I can't remember what it's called. It's called a paint shaper, I think. But yeah, it's kind of like a paintbrush. Yeah, it's kind of like a spatula. It's made out of rubber. I like it.
I recently bought a big set of different sizes, and they're called spatchers. They came in a set, and they're silicone. And then I can scrape the whole palette clean with this big old spatcher.
Yeah, that's actually really awesome.
Can you talk about choosing a primary palette, the differences in applications? I'm just going to assume, can you explain the advantages of the primary palette?
Diana, you go for it.
Okay, well, when you have simplified your palette to just either one red, yellow, and blue, or two of each primary, you can learn more about color mixing and keep your colors all in harmony with each other. If you have colors from 20 pigments on your palette, you're going to have colors that are mud, that look like mud. It's really hard to make mud when you have a super primary palette. But in one of my courses on, I forget which it is, the color of light or something, I go in depth because there's a lot of different primaries, different reds, different yellows, different blues. And I go in depth on how to choose the right red, yellow, or blue for your painting. And I'm also going to teach that in my October workshop, which specific red, yellow, and blue might be better for each different season of the year, and how you can get a better read on your seasons, like we'll do fall, but I'll also show you how specific red, yellow, and blue would be appropriate for spring. So that's
awesome.
Coming up in October. But yeah, it'll really be helpful for you to see how you can really use different reds, yellows, and blues for different effects.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I see somebody asking, can I answer this question, Peter? It's this one. It says, can you please estimate the width of the brushes you used today? I'm estimating this smallest one is about 3/8 of an inch. I'm estimating that my middle brushes are about 1 inch. And I'm estimating that this one is about 1.5 inches or 1 3/4 inches, maybe 2 inches. But that's my guess. It sounded like you'd asked that a bunch of times, Valerie, so I just wanted to make sure that I answered it. Okay, Peter, you can throw that one up there that you had.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Let's see here. Oh, Stay Wet palette lid.
You know what I heard somebody explaining earlier? They said, grab the grab the opposing corners and click them in first, then do the other opposing corners, and then do the flat part. And I think that probably makes sense because sometimes if you start at one corner and work your way, it almost feels like it stretches it out, and then it's harder to seal all the edges.
Yeah,
it's so hard. I wish Mastersons would make a clip top that just just had clamps that held it down. Maybe they'll hear us and do it.
I know. New and improved Masterson palette. They make a killing.
They could definitely make a new version of it. And I think even just recently somewhere I saw somebody who had a different brand and they were using it, but it looked like it did the exact same thing. Like, I don't know if somebody had copied the idea, but I'm pretty sure it had a lockable top.
It's a common issue. It's not just you.
Yeah.
I also, maybe I'm crazy, but I thought last time we talked about this, somebody put Vaseline on the inside of the...
No, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not crazy.
You're not crazy.
Yay, Lori. Congratulations.
Oh, Lori. I saw someone ask about the Masterson Stay Wet paper. They said there's curls up. That means you're not soaking it. You have to soak the paper. And it has to be completely wet before you put it on the sponge, or it won't work. The instructions are in the Masterson stuff. Follow them really carefully and you'll have better results. Oh,
very cool. Let's see here. I see a question. I'll get back to you, Cecil, on that. I need to check something. You guys can continue answering any other questions that pop up.
Okay, I see this question. How do you create soft edges? So there's a few different ways to create soft edges. In fact, I made a lesson that we have. It's free inside of our beginners course. But I'll go through what they are. You can do wet into wet, so blending a wet color into a wet color and just kind of overlap them like that. You can do a dry. This color's dry. This color, you do a dry brush into that, and therefore it's a scratchy kind of like softer edge. You can do something, I don't know what this is called, Diana. What is it when you, like if you had two colors and then you put an intermediate color in the middle?
Oh, I forget the name of that, but it is, but having that intermediate color between the two. I was just looking at a painting of mine and it really needed that intermediate color to turn the corner, and it needed soft edges. So I think I would put an intermediate, like not as light and not quite as dark, put that intermediate color in, and then I'd use my fingers to smudge it up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing I was just going to say is that you can, put your color on top of the other color and you can smudge it with a thumb or a finger or something like that. Those are kind of the ways that I know. Another thing I would say, it's kind of related to wet into wet, is that you can use a slow, dry medium that will extend the drying time so that you have more time to do a wet into wet kind of blending. But there's a variety of ways to do it in acrylics, and very helpful to learn them.
Yes.
Oh, there's someone who says, "Who's Nightbot?" Who's Nightbot? That's Peter.
It's literally just a bot. We just program it to say certain things that get asked all the time. It answers questions for us because, hey, look, if you stick with us from like the beginning of the time and you read the chat through, you'll notice like people ask, what size of brush are you using? Like every 3 minutes, right? And so we try to answer some of the questions that come up a lot, even though with that one we didn't have it going because sometimes we use a little bit different stuff. So yeah. Nightbot's a bot.
It's a bot. Our helper bot. Very helpful.
Okay.
Someone should paint a picture of what he would look like if it was a thing. A little robot thing.
Yeah, that would be fun.
For
that
sure.
would be really fun.
I wish that we could make our own little logo for it. Like, it's like a little robot dude. But I wish it could be like a palette, like a paint, something to do with art, like that'd be cool.
There are other services we could switch to that let you do branded ones.
Oh, really? Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
That would be kind of cool.
Vegas Gem says, have problems not being able to paint loose. I feel like a school kid learning my alphabet, leaning over my canvas. Help. I mean, it's not really a question, but I just wanted to recognize that I understand your struggle. Yeah. And sometimes, like we talked about in day one, I think one of the most helpful things is just if you want to paint a certain way, Diana said this the other day, have examples of what you like in front of you so that you can see. So if there's artwork that you think, that's a style that I like, it's loose, have a couple examples, print out a couple things and have them kind of close by so that you can look back and forth. It'll just be a way to take it from being such an abstract concept of like, I want to paint loose, to having something that gives you, that kind of brush stroke. Yeah. Oh, okay. I get it. That kind of edge.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think you're not seeing my questions because my name is, Susan Drennan. Let's see if I can see one of your questions. I know. There's.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Do any of the art companies offer discounts for AU members? We had a discount code with Winsor Newton for a time. I don't know if we still do. We're constantly trying to look for things like that, though. I've also heard from members recently that if you go to a Dick Blick store in person and tell them you're a member, you actually get a 10% discount. We didn't know that. Honestly, that was news to us, but a couple people corroborated that. So that's all there is right now, but we're always working on ways to improve it for the members.
Okay, so Susan, thanks for saying that. I do see your question here. It's probably not the type of paper. It's actually is if you're using the Masterson paper that comes with the pallet, that's the only one that works. So you need to be using that. But it's probably that you're not saturating the paper. Like you need to soak that paper in water. I usually turn my sponge, put it on top of the paper and fill that up with water and let it sit for about 5 minutes. And then when that paper is totally saturated, I turn it, flip it back over. I drain out the majority of the water because there's so much in there. And then I kind of wipe it down with a paper towel. And you'll get a feel of it over time, like how much water should you leave in the sponge. And that'll be based on how much does your paint stay wet versus like actually get too wet and spread out like it's watered down. You want it to stay in its, pretty much like a pile and not just become liquid. But you kind of have to play with that. But I'm guessing that the reason you might just have wet your sponge and then put dry paper on top of it, and it's not really going to work that way. It needs to be saturated.
Yeah. I even use a squeegee to get the excess water out, and it almost adheres the paper down to the surface. So it's like they become one thing. They become unified when I put the squeegee on, and it takes the excess water out. But again, it's something you practice with. It's not just a one shot. Here's the trick. Do this. You got to. I mean, I had to work at it a bit to get it just right.
So there's a couple questions I see about homework. The homework is really to finish all your pieces from the week. So you can do that. Make sure you show up on Monday and be here live in the chat and post your stuff in the Facebook group before that. So that's basically there's not extra. It's just the 3 lessons from the week.
Holly asks, do you have a Q&A session like this as part of a membership? This is fantastic. Not like officially, but most of our classes are live and instructors there. And so you can get your questions answered. I know at the end of Diana's workshop, we have a Q&A at the start of every month. I know, usually during the guest artist, usually the guest artist is in chat. So and I often stick around after my Discover Your Voice also to do the same thing. So lots of Q&A time, direct access.
Yeah.
Let's see. Janet says, just joined annually since I'm 79, and who knows how long I'll be here. Sorry, more time behind me than before, but I want to paint with acrylics and glad I'm on board with you all. Proud of you, Janet. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Let's make this the best year. Okay, I just saw somebody say this. Okay, I thought this could be helpful. Yeah, it is helpful if it's hot water when you're soaking your paper.
Do we have a lesson coming this Monday?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's more of a celebration of the class, but Jed and Diana are going to paint the same scene side by side. So
it's always fun to watch how different we are. And I always look over at Jed's and go, oh, he's doing so much better. Comparison. It's all good.
We have to practice what we preach about not comparing, because we'll always be like looking at the other person's and then changing our painting because we like theirs.
Yeah.
It's too fun. It's really a fun celebration. You'll have a lot of fun and you might learn something from it. Maybe not paint next to someone else right next door.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a class. You'll definitely learn something, whether or not it's something that you want to apply to your paint. I don't know, but you'll learn something. I can guarantee you.
Yeah. Oh, do you demonstrate the palette use in AU? Yes, we have a step-by-step palette setup guide inside the membership.
There's lots of step-by-step and tutorials and Q&As and everything.
Yes, absolutely.
So you have access to all of that, brushes, brush care, palette care, everything is in, Q&As and tutorials. It's amazing.
Yes. It's so comprehensive. Tina, oh wait, first Rebecca, I'm going to join M78. Congratulations, Rebecca. Good job
Yay,
taking
Rebecca.
that leap. You will not regret it. I guarantee it. Oh wait, I already answered that. I meant to click this one. I always want to use water to blend. Is that not an acceptable technique?
Well, sometimes I've done that in the past. Sometimes I've used a little spritzer bottle to kind of what I found was the best was actually spraying it on just a tiny bit before I put my paint on. I don't know. Sometimes if I spritzed it on afterwards, it would create these little dots. But I've used that technique before to just kind of give myself a little extended time to mix. But I don't know. There's probably differing opinions on if you should do that or not. I don't know. Do you have a different opinion on that, Diana?
I tend to not like water in my paint, but when it comes down to that final little, softer edge, water, a little bit of water is fine. You don't want to break up the binder of your paint with too much water. So you don't want to make it like watercolor, but a little bit will help a lot. I like the slow dry medium better. Just because I can use my fingers again.
Yeah, it's a little bit better, I would say, to have a medium to mix in with instead of water, but water is acceptable. Jane says, I'm 79 and I've been with AU for 2 years as a beginner. It's brought me so much joy. That's super, super, super fun. I love this. And Dina says, thank you all so much. See you Monday. See you. I am going to join. Awesome. That'll be fun. We will see you Monday.
I'm in for life.
Woohoo!
Congratulations. Good to see you.
Yeah, congratulations. That's super
Congratulations,
awesome.
Les. It's amazing. Do you have beginners? Yes. Everything is covered.
Everything.
A to Z.
Everything.
You could know nothing about acrylic paints, and it's amazing. I just got to put this up. Yeah, go ahead, Jed. Sorry.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
I just got to put this comment up. I love the enthusiasm. Diana, your lesson yesterday was out flipping standing. Easy to see why you're there teaching.
Oh, my goodness. That's so awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I want a T-shirt that says "Out flipping standing." I want that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Peter, write that down somewhere. Somebody write that down. Out flipping standing. Oh, my goodness. Dude, that is so awesome. I love that. That might be one of the best comments that we've ever gotten.
I have tears rolling down my cheeks.
Yes.
Okay, Laura says, is membership work at your own pace or is it like classroom? It's actually kind of both. You can totally work at your own pace because there's no, some people are going through courses because they want to learn about something really specific. And other times people are mostly they might have already done some of the courses. They've gotten their foundational stuff done. And then they're just showing up on the weeks that they are like, okay, this is going to be, the workshop with Diana next week. I'm super excited about that. And you have a little bit of crossover. People can do whatever they want for sure. Some people they're not working right now. And so they have the ability to show up to a live session and other people can't. So they do it after they're done with work or over the weekend. It's really, really, really up to you to determine, what works for you.
What I love about Acrylic U is it treats you like a grown-up. you have priorities. You maybe have a business or a job or kids or grandkids or, a house you're taking care of or company. You don't have to be in class. You can just watch the rewind if you want. And then there's all the pre-recorded ones. So you get to be your own grown-up self and not get in trouble if you don't show up for class.
Yeah.
I see this question from Carrie. My canvases have been getting spots that won't take the paint. It's very frustrating. Is something wrong? I don't use lots of water. That kind of makes me think about what you were saying the other day and how they put sometimes after they gesso the canvases, they put something on there maybe to like keep it from getting mold. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, to keep the canvases from getting mold or mildew in transport, they put a coating on them. And if you wash that off, put them in the bathtub. If you're getting that, then that's probably what it is. Put it in the bathtub and scrub it off, and then, dry them with a blow dryer or put them in the sun to dry. And the problem is solved. I used to have that problem too.
Yeah, I've had it happen a few times also, and I had to like kind of scrub it a little bit. But
is there a members only Facebook group to share your paintings? There sure is. And so, on top of meeting members in the chat, getting answers from instructors, there's also hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of incredible artists in the Facebook group that can help encourage you, answer your questions, share little tricks or secrets they learned. It's really amazing.
So I'm going to just give you a straight up answer here. Do we have to post our paintings in order to be eligible for prizes? And we would love for you to post your paintings in the Facebook group. I would be lying if I said that we're going to go in there and check every time, because it's a lot of work for us to do that. So technically, no, you don't have to. Would it be better if you did? Yes, we would love you if you did it even more than we do. No, I'm just joking. We love you either way, but you technically don't have to. We just think that you get the best experience out of this whole thing if you are sharing your work in the Facebook group. But like, what the most important thing is that you show up and you're with us and you're engaging in the event. That's actually, like, if you notice, we're like grabbing people who are there, who are engaged, who are chatting in the chat and everything like that. So,
and we should cross check it, but we've gotten lazy with it. But we really should search up those names.
I mean, there are times that we will, because we want you to be like, not just, I just showed up at that thing. I'm saying I can't speak for the team. There are other people who might be cross-checking that, because you have to email us if you win. So the support people might be cross-checking. I know that I'm not. That's all I can say. But yes, you know what? We will cross-check that. We're going to look you up, and if you're not in the Facebook group, well, at least that's my threat to you. Anyways, I don't know. I'm starting to get a little loopy.
Yeah, I've got a doctor's appointment I got to run to, so I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you guys on Monday.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Sounds good. Bye, Diana. We'll answer this one question and we'll wrap it up as well.
I remember Jed mentioned once he tilts the Stay Wet palette and counts when prepping it. Yeah, I tried that and worked, but don't remember the details. Could you give me a refresher on that trick? Peter, that's probably on YouTube as a video, right? I think that I think we made a video, and I think it's on YouTube actually, that talks about the Stay Wet palette.
Like draining it, like tilting it when you drain it.
I'm not answering because I don't remember exactly, but I think what I would do is I would drain it, and then I would turn it the other way, and I was like counting to 10. And if it got to 10 before like a bunch of water came out, I would count it like that's about what I want. Now, a lot of times these days I've been using a little bit smaller palette, and it's a little bit different. That's why I don't remember exactly how I did it on that video.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna. Oh man, that's so funny. I see a gymnast doing somersault. I'm still kind of laughing at that out flipping standing comment. That was awesome. Okay, well, you guys, thank you so much. Thank you
Yes.
for being here. Thank you for all your fun. We appreciate you. We believe in you. Make sure you come on Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific. That's 7 p.m. Eastern time. And we're going to have a great time celebrating together and enjoying paint and giving away some prizes.
Yes, absolutely. It's going to be fun, guys. I'm looking forward to it. Great way to wrap up an amazing class. So, yeah.
Look at this. AU is out flipping standing. I love it.
I love it.
All right, you guys. Love you. Have a good weekend. We'll see you Monday.
Bye,
You are loved
guys.
and believed in.
WC5, yes, we will be emailing you. Absolutely. With the reminder. Goodbye, everybody.